Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing the Doctor Who The Dalek build from Hachette Partwork with parts 55 through to 58. So without any further ado, let's start down to looking at the magazines. I will preface this by apologising for my voice. I'm still getting over a bug. And I also apologise for any background noise. I've got some stuff printing at the moment that I can't stop. But here we have issue 55, contents page. Adventures in Time and Space looks at the Rogue Planet, which is issues 59 through 69 of the old TV Century 21 Dalek comics. Behind the Scenes looks at the Dalek world, which looks at Skaro as it appeared in the Doctor Who World Annual. Then we get our instructions for continuing our build, and the back page has a rather nice little poster of the Dalek. Issue 56, contents page. Adventures in Time and Space looks at part 2 of Revelation of the Daleks. Behind the Scenes looks at Building the Daleks part 3. The White Daleks, which were of course the Imperial Daleks that appeared in Revolution and Remembrance of the Daleks in the 1980s. Then we are continuing the build. This time we are starting to put in the light housings for the bases, so it looks like we're going to actually get some light for the base, which is really cool. We get another poster on the inside page. 57, contents page. Adventures Time and Space looks at Doomsday, which was one of the 10th Doctor stories, featuring both the Daleks and Cybermen. We get a poster of a Dalek and Davros. And then the Time Vortex looks at Surviving the Time War, which looks at the various Daleks throughout the Time War and thereafter. And we are continuing with more of the light assembly. And then issue 58 gives us our contents page. Adventures in Time and Space looks at Mission to the Unknown, which was a Doctorless episode featuring or focusing on the Daleks and a build-up to the Dalek epic story. And my brain's gone blank on the story it was. Yeah, my brain's gone completely blank there. I do apologise. A Dalek poster. Anatomy of the Dalek looks at the Dalek Supreme, which is the Black Dalek. And then we get another motor for the wheels. So let's get these into order. And then I will start assembly. So we will be back in a moment. Okay, so part 55 comes with the motor, wire and sorted screws needed. For some reason I've got a lot more LP screws than is actually needed, but I'm not going to complain about that. You will also need previous assembly parts, including the original crossbeam and roller. Okay, so something to be mindful of is the instructions tell you to fit the motor with 4 DM screws. This is incorrect. You actually need 4 of the EM screws. They're the smaller of the 3 sets of screws you get. The DMs are far too big and are going to be needed for the roller. So be careful when you are fitting that. For the record, they will match the previous set of screws used. Okay, so something to be mindful of is all of the screws seem to be mislabeled this issue, so just be mindful of the correct screws for the correct things. The instructions themselves are actually correct. I was wrong on this part. So the instructions tell you correctly which screws you need. It's just the mislabels here and potentially on the bagging. So just be mindful, be careful. Once these are 2 fitted into place, you will need your battery box from the original early issues. So we will give that a test. Okay, so the roller is rotating correctly. Remember that it won't have the same power as it will once the actual remote. This is obviously just for testing. So this one's rotating correctly. We'll just test the other one. And that one's rotating nicely as well. Make sure they're both rotating in the same directions as well, that's also important. There we have issue 55, moving on to 56. So 56 is 3 plastic light housings done in a chrome finish. And all they need to do is screw into the base. Okay, parts 56 and 57 are done. 56 fit these 3 light reflectors, and 57 fits this one. They all fit in the same way, with just 4 screws going into the small little holes. With 57 you do get a larger reflector dish, which I assume is going to go in the middle here. However, we don't actually fit this issue. It also tells you to retain the screws needed for this dish, so I've just wrapped them in some tissue paper, put them both together, and they will go back in their box until that is needed. Moving on to part 58. Part 58 is just another roller assembly, which we've done a couple of times, and that brings us to the end of these issues. Coming up in 59 is some of our lighting for the base by the looks of things, so that'll be pretty exciting. Until then, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, stay safe, and remember, freedom is a right, not a privilege.